new series on our hands. We're going to do 30 parts, all 30 teams, and you're going to tell me the best player of all time on that team.
On that team?
Yeah.
Okay.
In your opinion. All right, we're going to start part 1, Baltimore Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles. Cal Ripken Jr.
Part 2, greatest player of all time on each MLB team. And today we're doing the Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Gotta go with Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones, switch hitter, Hall of Famer, great third baseman, #1 pick, great stats. Stay with the team his whole career. Can't go wrong. I want to change the pick. I'm allowed to change the pick. I pay my taxes. I'm allowed to change the fucking pick. All right. So breaking news. I'm changing my pick because I've got my team here. They gave me some sources that I totally forgot about. They told me that there was a guy named Hank Aaron. As soon as they said that, I said, wow, I fucked that one up. I am changing my pick to best player, in my opinion, that played for the Atlanta Braves would be Hank Aaron. 755 home runs. Guy was just a beast.
2,200 plus RBIs.
2,200 plus RBIs. Thank you to my GOAT assistant / best man assistant. That is such a thing, by the way.
Part 3, best MLB players of all time on each team. Today we're doing the Diamondbacks. Who you got for me and why?
Best Diamondbacks player of all time. Gotta go with Randy Johnson. One of the most dominant pitchers of our time. And you'll never see another guy like him again. Who's that tall, throws that hard, and was that dominant for that long of a period of time.
All right, Nick, best player of all time from each team, part 4. Today, we got the Oakland A's.
Oakland A's. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. His name speaks for himself. Hall of Famer. Guy was clutch.
Part 5, greatest players of all time from each team, and we're doing the White Sox.
White Sox.
Yeah.
White Sox. Huh. There's a couple of guys that have played for this team that I'm just drawing a blank on their names. Mm-hmm. So don't be surprised if I change my pick. But as of right now, I'm going to go with Paul Konerko. All right. I want this on the record. Big Nick made a mistake yesterday. He did some homework after he made his pick about the White Sox, and he forgot a very big name that played for the White Sox. I'd like to change my pick to the greatest White Sox player that ever lived, Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. Guy absolutely hit nukes.
Guy loves Nugenics.
He advertises testosterone. He obliterates baseballs, and that's like what I live for. The guy's fucking massive. Killed baseballs. Didn't just hit him. He killed baseballs.
Some people might say he hurt baseballs.
All right, Big Nick, part 6, greatest players of all time from each team, and we're going to go with the Philadelphia... Wait.
Phillies?
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Philadelphia Phillies. Okay.
Yeah.
Best player, in my opinion, on the Philadelphia Phillies was Mike Schmidt.
Okay.
Mike Schmidt was a beast, third baseman. Absolutely could rake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he spent his whole career with one team or not. Just an all-around, just great player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Mike Schmidt.
All right, Big Nick. Part 7, greatest MLB player of all time from each team, the Boston Red Sox.
Boston Red Sox. I mean, this is easy. Ted Williams. Ted Williams. If anybody checked out the live vlog on TikTok, everyone knew why I chose Ted Williams. I mean, one of the greatest hitters that ever lived. He served for our country for 5 years, took 5 prime years away, came back, still dominated. Only guy to have a 400 average for a whole season. Guy was amazing.
Top 5 Red Sox players.
Top 5 Red Sox players of all time. Ted Williams is #1. Manny Ramirez #2. Pedro Martinez is #3. I totally drawed a blank on Pedro. I go Chris Sale at 4. What? No, this is top 5 Red Sox. Yaz at #4. #5 Sale.
Wow,
I'm not putting on teeth in this. Nah, I love Sale. I love Sale. Sale's a fucking shit.
Greatest MLB player of all time, part 8, Chicago Cubs.
Greatest player of all time for the Chicago Cubs, in my opinion, is Ernie Banks. Always played the game right, loved the game, great player, face of the franchise.
Part 9, best player of all time from each team, Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay Rays. Go with Evan Longoria. No. I take that back. There was a name that just came up in my head. Hold on, time out. Because I was thinking Rays, Devil Rays, the whole change of the names. Scratch that. My best player, in my opinion, between the Devil Rays and the Rays, put it on the record, between both teams, even though it was the same team but different names, Fred McGriff. He's a borderline Hall of Famer. I think he finished with 400 and something home runs. Somebody comment, tell me how many home runs it was. Really, was a really good player for them at the time. And I know there's a couple of other guys that played for them, but I think he was there for the longest.
All right, Big Nick, part 10. Best player of all time from each team, the St. Louis Cardinals.
My opinion, best player that ever played for the St. Louis Cardinals was Albert Pujols. And I know I'm going to get shit because everyone's going to say Stan Musial or Bob Gibson. But hear me out about Pujols. Pujols is going to go down as arguably one of the greatest right-handed hitters that ever lived. I think he's got 600-plus home runs right now. It speaks volume. He played with them for 10 years. I think he won 1 World Series with them in 06.
All right, Big Nick, part 11. Best MLB player from each team, Colorado Rockies.
Rockies. All right. This is a very, very close one. But in my opinion, the best Colorado Rocky of all time is Todd Helton. Todd Helton, again, I don't know his stats off the top of my head, but I think he was another guy that's in the high 400s. Was a great hitter for a long period of time, lefty hitter. Was the face of their franchise for a long period of time. He teamed up with Larry Walker, was a good duo for a little while there.
All right, Big Nick, part 12. The Cleveland Indians. Best player of all time.
Ooh, Cleveland Indians. Ooh. The best player of all time on the Indians. All right. In my opinion, the best player that ever played for the Cleveland Indians, Jim Thome.
Jim Thome?
Jim Thome, Hall of Famer, 500-plus home runs. It's a close one because I was going to almost go with Manny, but I think Thome was there longest, so I'm going to give it to Thome.
Part 13, the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, this is easy. Big Red Machine, the group of the Big Red Machine. In my opinion, the best player for the Cincinnati Reds, Pete Rose. You can tell me about his gambling. You can tell me about his betting against the teams and stuff. That stuff happened when he was a manager, by the way. But you can't argue with the guy who's got the most hits in MLB history. Guy belongs in the Hall of Fame. Disgrace because there's already guys in the Hall of Fame that are taking steroids. Guy was just a pure hitter. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, he had 4,200-plus hits, something like that. Somebody write a comment the exact hits, please. And, yeah, man, guy was an absolute beast when he played. Played the game hard. Yeah, Pete Rose.
San Francisco Giants, best player of all time.
Best player of all time for the San Francisco Giants, in my opinion, is Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. 660 home runs, played an unbelievable center field, played there his entire career. I think he played 22, 24 seasons or something like that. A lot of all-star games, I forget how many. Somebody please comment.
Part 15, best player of all time. We're halfway through. Today we got the San Diego Padres.
Oh, this is easy. Best player of all time on the San Diego Padres, R.I.P., Tony Gwynn. This was just a pure hitter.
All right, Big Nick, part 16, best MLB player of all time from each team. And today we are doing the Kansas City Royals.
Kansas City Royals. What's that guy's name? Is it George Brett? George Brett, yeah. My opinion, the best player of all time for the Kansas City Royals is George Brett. He's the one name that sticks out. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't know why, but I know it's a name that sticks out a lot. So I'm going with him. Sorry, Kansas City. I don't know you guys that well, but that means you haven't won a lot. Sorry.
Part 17, best player of all time, Houston Astros.
Best player that ever played for the Houston Astros was Jeff Bagwell. Love that guy's stance. Love his crouch. Guy just was a very, very underrated hitter.
All right, Big Nick, part 18, best player of all time from each team, Detroit Tigers.
Best player of all time, in my opinion, from the Detroit Tigers is Ty Cobb. What the fuck look was that? Gave me a fucking look like you had to shit your pants. You alright?
I said okay.
You're like, okay.
Oh, fuck you.
That's what you fucking did. Go back to the fucking channel. Alright, Ty Cobb.
What was the look?
You look. It was you like you were disgusted. What are you fucking disgusted for?
I forgot about Ty Cobb.
Oh, really? Gee Louise. Get a fucking education. Reason why I choose Ty Cobb is because when you think of hitters, you think of very small amount of hitters. And I know that seems crazy because there was a lot of good ones. But when you think of like all-time great hitters, Ty Cobb's definitely in that conversation.
Part 19, best player of all time from each team, Washington Nationals.
So we're just going with the Nationals, right? Not like their conversion to Montreal Expos, then the Washington Nationals, just the Washington Nationals, correct?
I feel like you gotta include the Expos.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
How do you not give love to the Expos?
Yeah, you got it. So
we're going to do this based on Montreal Expos / Washington Nationals on the record. If that's the case, then my best player of all time is Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Senior.
Sorry, senior. That's on me, senior. My bad, senior. Guy had an absolute cannon in the outfield. I mean, he had one of the best arms in history. Love watching the guy throw. The way he swung the bat is just legendary. Hitting one hop, the pitches a one hop in the dirt. He's still hitting it.
Part 20, best player of all time from each team. Today we got the Toronto Blue Jays.
Toronto Blue Jays. Best player of all time on the Toronto Blue Jays, in my opinion, was Roy Halladay, R.I.P. Every time he took the ball, he didn't want to give it up. Like, he'd throw 8, 9 innings. The way he pitched, he was like a complete pitcher. Might not blow him the radar gun up, but guy knew how to pitch. Got guys out. Literally was a horse. Hardly got hurt. Loved watching that guy pitch. One of my favorite pitchers of all time.
All time from each team, Miami Marlins.
/ Florida Marlins.
/ Florida Marlins.
/ Florida Marlins.
Low key, I might buy like a Florida Marlins hat.
I got a hat at home. I'll give it to you.
You really?
I'm so serious. I hardly work. I'll give it to you. My gift from me to you.
You're the fucking man.
All
Let's go.
My best player of all time on the Florida Marlins / Miami Marlins was Miguel Cabrera. Miguel is one of, like I said, like he's in our generation, like in our lifetime, like he's one of the best hitters. Consistently. I mean, I know now he's not really much of anything because he's older, but that guy just absolutely good rake. And he almost got traded to the Red Sox. True fact.
All right, Big Nick. Part 22, best MLB player of all time, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Now, we count Brooklyn Dodgers? You gotta count Brooklyn Dodgers, right?
We're going with Jackie Robinson, no doubt. Not only was he a great baseball player, but more importantly, he changed the game forever on and off the field. I mean, I don't even need to say enough. 4-2, retired all over baseball. Jackie Robinson.
All right, Big Nick. Part 23, best player of all time from each team, the Anaheim Angels.
The Anaheim Angels. I'm going to go on the record with this. Okay? And there's a contingency on my prediction, on my guy. The best player, when his career is over, if he stays healthy, that's my contingency, is Mike Trout.
Love it.
He has to play longer. He's got to produce for at least another 5, 6, 7 more years at that level that he's at. And then it's his. But if he, for some reason, gets hurt, then no.
All right, Big Nick. Part 24, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right. Best player of all time, in my opinion, for the Pittsburgh Pirates is Roberto Clemente. Guy had the best seed from the outfield I've ever seen. Just an unbelievable baseball player. He was the face of not only the Pittsburgh Pirates, but at one point he was the face of baseball with all the charity stuff that he's done and stuff like that. He's got the Roberto Clemente Award named after him in the Hall of Fame. Almost positive he spent his entire career there. Not 100% sure, but I think he did. You know how much that's important to me.
All right, Big Nick. Part 25, best player of all time, the New York Yankees.
The New York Yankees. We've been waiting. A lot of people have been waiting a long time for this one. So, the moment of truth. In my opinion, the best player that ever played for the New York Yankees is the great Bambino, Babe Ruth. He was the greatest of all time, arguably with Ted Williams. Once he got traded from the Red Sox to the Yankees, that's when they just started winning championship after championship after championship. 700-plus home runs, lefty swing. Yeah, going with the great Bambino.
Word. All right, Big Nick. Part 26, the New York Mets.
The Mets. My best player of all time, in my opinion, on the New York Mets is Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza will arguably go down as one of the greatest offensive catchers that ever played the game. He was a stud. He is in the Hall of Fame. And, yeah, that's my pick.
Part 27, the Minnesota Twins.
In my opinion, the best player on the Minnesota Twins was Rod Carew. Over 3,000 hits, 1991 Hall of Fame induction. Did not play his whole career with them. He only played, I think it was 12 or 13 years with them.
Okay.
But true stat, he had over 3,000 hits. You want to know how many home runs he only had?
How many?
He only had 92 home runs.
Damn.
So
What?
he only had 92 home runs.
That's wild.
Freaking crazy, right?
That is crazy. Out of 3,000.
I had to look that up to confirm that.
Wow. All right, part 28, the Milwaukee Brewers.
In my opinion, the best player on the Milwaukee Brewers of all time was Robin Yoit. And I don't know if I said that right, but he was, yeah, I mean, you guys really don't have that many players, no offense. So I had to look this one up. But, yeah, the reason why is because I compared his stats with Braun's and the other one. And, yeah, I mean, he's the guy. So that's all I got for you. Sorry. Get some better players.
All right, Big Nick, part 29, the Texas Rangers.
In my opinion, the best player that ever played for the Texas Rangers was Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. Another guy who you could arguably say was one of the greatest offensive / defensive catchers of all time. Guy won, I think, like 12 plus Gold Gloves. He's in the Hall of Fame. Guy was an absolute stud.
Number 30, Seattle Mariners.
There's a lot of good players, a lot of great players that have played for the Seattle Mariners. A lot of them, unfortunately, didn't stay there their whole careers because obviously either because of finances or trades or so on and so forth. But I'm going with this one particular guy. You could definitely have arguments for a bunch of different guys. But in my opinion, the best player that ever played for the Seattle Mariners was Ken Griffey Jr. Guy is one of the most gifted baseball players we will ever see.